All right, welcome back. We're gonna pick up right where we left off on the last video with the deck lid. And hello, Mr. Popo. And we're going to go ahead and start with the wet sanding around the deck lid. That way, like I mentioned in the other video, we can go ahead and get this deck lid put back on and open up some floor space. So again, my sister is here and she's gonna get her first round at wet sanding automotive clear coat. So I'm gonna get you set up, get it all up in your teeth, and we'll get started on this thing. Welcome back to this episode in the garage.
Take me by my hand, wherever the wind blows, that's where we will go. The limit is the sky.
When you're sanding, you have to keep in mind where all of your edges are and what shape it is that you're sanding. So if you're sanding in here, you don't want to put a bunch of pressure up here, and because you're not putting pressure down here. So you have to keep in mind where your edges are. You don't want to sit here and saw on the side. You want to keep in mind where the side is, and you'll be watching it. And see that white coming up? That's clear coat. You want to get all the way to the edge. You don't want to leave the edge unsanded because you'll see but you don't want to set and ever turn it up sideways and saw on the side, because you'll go through clear coat quick. And then
Do you feel and it tells you that you've sanded as much as you want?
No, I'll show you.
Okay.
So when you get up in here, you want to make sure that you're putting your pressure in the corner here.
Okay.
Now this up here, I'm not worried about. If you sand it, good. If you don't, good, because there's a big piece of stainless that goes all the way up through here.
Yeah.
So if you get up in there, that's fine. But
I'm wanting the curve.
yeah, you're wanting the curve. So what you'll do is you'll sand for a little while,
Wash it off.
and you want to get as much of that white stuff off there as you can.
Okay.
That'll keep your sandpaper lasting. And your blue rag, what you're going to do is you're going to get the light in it. All right. Now see your edge here?
Oh, yeah.
See how you have dots
Yeah.
and no dots?
Yeah.
That's sanded. That is starting to be sanded.
Oh.
So what you're looking for is a flat, dull surface that is all the same color.
Okay.
And you see how
So
long that takes.
I need to hit that again. Right here.
Now there's plenty of clear coat, so you don't really have to worry about going through the clear coat super fast.
Right.
But you'll get used to it, of how long it takes to sand it, but also your sandpaper wears out, so it'll take a little bit longer and a little bit longer.
Oh,
And then when it's just no longer working for you, then you just rotate your sandpaper. And you don't have to rotate all the way to a new edge. You can just rotate and get you a little bit of a new edge.
Yeah.
But that is how you do it. See how that is all one color?
Yeah.
See your little dots?
I do.
And a dot there. You'll have another one there and another one there. Those you want to get all flat.
So I would come back to those
And you want
dots.
water. So dip it in the water. Don't sling it off. And you can either continually dip it in water, or you can use this spray bottle. But dipping it in water will clean off your sandpaper.
Yeah.
and you sand a while, wipe, and see what it looks like. And it'll have to be dry before you can really tell what it is you're looking at.
Okay.
Oh, let's turn some air on. Now that'll tell you where your little dust nibs are. It's a dust nib and a dust nib and a dust nib.
Yeah.
And if you're sanding and that dust nib won't go away, just move on to something else. And we'll try to get every bit of them out. Every one of them should come out. Shouldn't be no problem. But some of them are going to butt and fight because some of them are bigger than others. See, I can see right here a spot I missed.
Yeah. It's gonna
But
be.
I'll go back and hit that in a minute. Because you're going to get a good overview after this dries of what you got good and what you didn't. So there's no sense in me sitting here continually sawing just only for this one spot. So I just go back and hit that one spot
Yeah.
and move on. But there's no fast way to do this.
No.
It just is.
It's a labor of love.
It is what it is. And the truth is, it's really not the most enjoyable part for me.
No.
It's not like I thoroughly look forward to wet sanding and buffing.
No.
Even though that's one of the steps that makes the biggest difference.
It's
not-
tedious.
Yes, I am a make big progress quick type person. And this is not big progress quick in any way.
No.
Unless you're watching the video
Yeah.
in
Yeah, it goes by really quick.
high speed.
About 3 or 4 weeks worth goes by really quick.
Really quick. And the flatter,
wow. I ain't got nowhere near what I thought I had.
the flatter you keep your paper, the longer your paper will last. Like if you pinpoint up, not only will you dig a spot, but it'll wear that part of the paper out. So no matter what, you keep the paper flat. But the good news is 2,000 and 4,000 go by really quick compared to this. This is the step where you get everything flat. After that, all you're doing with the 2,000, 3,000 really is just getting rid of the 1,000 marks. And then the 4,000 gets rid of the 2,000 marks. Now, also when you're wet sanding, you have to sort of keep in mind the buffing process and where you're able to buff and where you're not able to buff. Because if you get the wrong spot and you're not able to get a buffer in there, then you're in there with your fingers and polishing compound trying to get it to come back up to a shine. So in here, I'm not really worried about wet sanding that because
Okay.
number one, the bumper is going to ride up here, but I wouldn't be able to get in there and polish it. Now in a regular body shop, like a collision center, you won't see a whole lot of this. Not unless they had a paint problem or some other paint defect. Because most all the time in a production collision shop, they're worried about shiny. So they can get shiny without buffing. And buffing is money because it takes time. So,
But in order to get shiny without glare, you've got to buff.
Well, it's in
Or
your paint
without?
gun. It's in your paint gun settings. I am not a super good painter, and I don't paint on a regular basis enough to set my gun up in a way that would give me a really good finish consistently. I can get it sometimes, but not on a super regular basis. So the reason I don't spend a lot of time focusing on setting my gun up is because I know I'm going to do this process. So, you know, I don't want a ton of orange peel because that's more work, but at the same time, I'm not worried about orange peel because I am going to be wet sanding and buffing. So in a production shop, gun setup is more important than it is here because they want to skip the wet sanding and buffing. And the more you do it, the more proficient you'll get at not only doing it, but saving your sandpaper and stuff like that, because that's a majority of the cost in a you know, the way that I do it here in the garage is material. So the least amount of money you can spend on material, the better you are. Because sandpaper is very expensive and paint is very expensive. You can easily spend, if you just burn through sandpaper like somebody else is paying for it, you can go through $500 worth of sandpaper building a car. Yeah, sandpaper is not cheap.
Wow.
So you do things and you figure things out to make your materials last longer,
Yeah.
but still not absolutely work yourself to death doing something. And then sometimes time is more important than money. So if I can spend a little bit more money but use a little bit less time, a lot less time, then I'll go that route. As long as you're feeling resistance on the surface, then your sandpaper is still working. When your sandpaper just wants to glide with no effort at all, it's time to change sandpaper.
Okay.
Now, in a situation like that, when you're down here, you don't want to put any pressure here or here. You want to put your pressure inside that. Yeah, because this pad itself is adding pressure. So you don't want to add any more than the pad is already adding.
I can't remember if that wet or needs to be touched again. See if I did anything.
See the water coming out the end of it?
Yeah.
That's what you don't want when you're spraying clear coat.
It's innocent when I see that, but I know the next set of the 2000 is going to take that out, but it's still scary when I see it. Wow.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
When you do it by hand, it is a lot of work.
And you
see
think
here, look
that
here.
you think that you've just.
That's a dust nib. So a dust nib is going to be high dead in the center and low all the way around it. So that's why you're going to see a light dot in the middle and dark all the way around it. So you got to get the part of the center is even with the outside, but that dip all the way around that dirt nib is low.
Yeah.
So you keep sanding that until it's all the same color. And all you're looking for is the same color. That's it. Once you've got the same color, you're done.
I put a little bit more on my hands that
Yeah,
time.
it is work. She said, hey, I'll come up this weekend and help you wet sand
Yeah.
if you would like.
It builds your muscles. Muscles that I hadn't used in 10 years. It'll be worth it.
That's why when you hear somebody talk about how much it would cost to wet sand and buff your car, even though the car's already painted, how much would it cost for you to wet sand and buff my car? Thousands.
Yeah.
That's how much it would cost. Thousands. And it absolutely blows people's mind when you tell them that. Are you kidding me? Nope. Not even a little bit.
Golly.
It is hard, labor-intensive work, and as the buffer and the polisher, I assume all the risk. If I mess your paint job up, it's on my wallet that I repaint it, and then wet sand and buff it again.
Right.
So yeah, it's gonna cost. Now, okay, I just heard something. You hear that go zip, 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 zip? That is something under your sandpaper. There is something on the sandpaper or on the surface, right there. Now, what that is buildup of clear coat on your sandpaper. That zip, 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 that's
Okay.
rolling that hard ball under your sandpaper.
Oh,
And that
great.
will cause lines.
That will be a problem.
Now, everywhere that you got with the 1000 grit, you try to get a little bit farther with the 2000 grit. Not necessarily around the corners, but you want to get everything that you got with 1000 grit at least.
Don't waste your time. Take me by my hand. Wherever.
All right, we're done with our 2000, and I had mentioned 4000 earlier in the video. It's not 4000, it'll be 3000. I did not have 3000 for my DA on the last video, but I do have 3000 grit for hand sanding. So we're gonna go to 3000 on this and get you set up. We'll get started on that.
Your food is enough time.
Out.
So hard to do it.
Yep, I'm gonna do last time. Out. And on your, every time you go up in grit, you go out a little farther than you did with the grit before. Does that make sense?
I don't take a smaller swap.
No, you go out like where you sanded before.
Oh, yeah.
You go out a little bit farther.
Okay, yeah.
That way you get rid of those scratch marks.
Okay.
And plus, as you go up in grit, then you don't have to worry as much about corners.
Oh, yeah.
So if you wrap around the corner, that's fine, as long as you're getting the scratches before it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm seeing some pearl.
Mm-hmm.
A beautiful pearl.
Yeah. That will definitely not be the last time I do that trick. I've never done that. I've always had pearl in the base coat, but I've never actually added pearl to the clear coat. I've tinted clear coat before with a color.
I tell you what, that pearl just, golly, it's like you can just fall down into the paint.
And that's because the pearl is added to the clear. So it gives, you can actually see the effect the paint has.
Versus
a lot
adding
of
it to the paint?
Yeah, a lot of the pearl Like there's probably 50 grams of pearl in the base coat, of different colors of pearl.
Oh.
But then the gold pearl is actually floating above that, suspended in the clear coat, and it gives it a certain depth because you can actually see behind the clear coat.
Yep, that makes sense. I was talking about you being left and going to that side because I'm right-handed. And I'm using my left hand more than I am right. You're lucky being ambidextrous.
I had to be. Daddy made me be.
Did he?
Yep.
Oh,
He bought me one ball glove, and I lost it. And he said, well, I guess if you want to play ball, you'll learn to throw with the other hand. Not thinking I would learn to throw with my other hand.
well, I still didn't go to any of the ball games.
So I learned to throw right-handed. And now, if I was to go pick out a glove, it would go on my left hand, and I would throw right-handed, even though I'm left-handed.
Wow.
I can still throw right-handed. I throw a football. I mean, I can still throw left-handed. I throw a football left-handed. But I throw a baseball right-handed. Because Daddy said, if you want to play ball, I suggest you learn to throw with your other hand. And I probably thought he was being a smart aleck.
He actually helped you out, huh?
Yep. Executive decision has just been made. An audible. We're going to go ahead and sand the quarter panels and get those up to, which that will be 4,000. And probably buff all of it at the same time. I think it'll be less work in the long run to go ahead and do that. So I think we're going to knock those out real quick. And you've already seen the deck panel and the process that goes into that. So we're probably not going to show it. We're just going to go ahead and knock it out and get it done. And we'll bring you back when we start buffing. I can tell you real quick whether or not this compound is going to work or not. It's going to take a little bit of work. We'll see.
Don't really like it.
Yeah, it's all right.
home of your crib now. Here I go laying brick by brick to the room. People say that we're sick from this boom. That could feed me week by week, set to the doom. And I gotta stay in tune now.
Just trying to figure out that compound. Compounds are different. Some like it to stay wet, and then some compounds apparently like that one. The more you put on it, the worse it is.
As I look into the light and I can see your face,
That looks alright.
trying to find the existence of this horrible place. And then you reach down, put me in your brain.
Don't look too bad.
No, I think it looks good. Oh, that look pretty.
We had to go back and re-sand. We didn't go as far as we thought we did, so what you're seeing now is after the second round of sanding and buffing. And I think we got what we're after now.
Go ahead and say my arm ain't as strong as yours. Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah. I think that's much more better.
Yep.
Hopefully we don't have to do that to the other side. Hopefully it got dotted.
I am looking out my window, and I wish that you were here, sitting tall for a little while. Well, I know you couldn't make it, and I know you really care. Sometimes I can be in denial. Though we may not see each other for many nights ahead, when I keep you in my hand. Just keep me in your dreams, and I'll always keep you in mind. Just keep me in your dreams, and you know, girl, you'll always be mine.
All right, fellers and fellettes. You guys are seeing the deck lid on for the first time. Man, does it not look good. Woo. Boy, that is pretty. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I'm tickled to death that you stayed this long. Hit your share button. Hit the bell notification right below. That way you're notified every time I release new content. And till next time, you guys go do some work.